Hi, my name is Melissa Pastore, and I'm a relatively recent graduate from the University of Minnesota. I earned my PhD about a year ago and was co-advised by Sarah Hobby and Peter Reich. And since then, I've been working as a postdoc at the University of Vermont. Much of my research over the past few years has been motivated by the observation that atmospheric CO2 is rising at unprecedented rates. And because it's an important plant resource, the extra CO2 can increase rates of photosynthesis and enhance plant growth. So from a theoretical standpoint, we might think plants will solve our problems and soak up that extra CO2. The issue is that one, we don't know how long plants can keep that up for. Two, we don't know whether those responses depend on what type of species you're looking at and other simultaneously changing environmental factors. And three, we don't know whether increases in plant carbon assimilation and growth will actually translate into ecosystem carbon storage that lasts for decades to centuries. So I addressed all three of those knowledge gaps by investigating how elevated CO2 affects leaf level physiological processes like photosynthesis, as well as plant and soil carbon storage in the biocon experiment at Cedar Creek. And the biocon experiment allowed me to test interactions between elevated CO2 and other important global change factors like nitrogen, temperature, rainfall, and to test whether a response is dependent on species or a functional group identity or a species diversity. So I made measurements over the 5 years of my PhD and leveraged long-term data from biocon to explore responses over about 2 decades. So being a part of the Cedar Creek Altair has helped me form collaborations that really had a huge impact on my research. So early on in my PhD, I linked up with Tally Lee, who had done her postdoc at Cedar Creek, and she was an amazing collaborator. And together we explored effects of global changes on leaf level physiology. And even now, in my postdoc at another institution, I'm collaborating with Carol Adair, who also did her postdoc at Cedar Creek, and we're working together on a project related to effects of global changes on soil aggregates using biocon data. So it's really a far-reaching community that seems to stay connected through the years, and there are a lot of interactions between people at all different career stages and with people who may have worked at Cedar Creek years ago. I also deeply appreciate the community engagement Cedar Creek supports, and especially enjoyed getting to work with K through 12 students. It's really cool to be able to not just give a talk to a high school group, for example, but also to really bring their classroom to the field and include them in the science. I learned a lot just by watching the students explore the field experiments and hearing the kinds of questions they were asking. And they got to experience firsthand what ecological research is like and bring that inquiry process then back into the classroom. So I think Cedar Creek helps the community see that everyone can be a scientist, whether it's in your classroom or your career or your backyard.